There's fantastic beasts and fascists in Paris. Newt Scamander. It's a podcast. Here it is. I've lost the ability to do these well.
I think, Morten, for a change of pace,
Okay.
we're going to go right into the one-line hot takes. There's no rolling start here. We're going straight in, and I'm going to do the first one-line hot take.
Okay.
Where was any connective tissue in this movie? Where? That's my one-line hot take.
Yeah.
What's yours, Morten?
So mine was going to be that's a whole lot of subplots and no main plot, but actually basically taken that one. What I will go for instead is, you remember in The Goblet of Fire?
I do.
When, like, for the most part, Cedric Diggory was built up as a character that you cared about, and then when he died, you cared that he died.
You're like, oh man, he seemed like a cool dude. It's a
Yeah.
shame he is dead, because he did some kind of cool guy things.
I miss the days when characters died.
Yeah, instead of
Just fodder.
really unfortunate fire in the cardboard factory.
Wand fodder.
Oh god.
Hello.
Hey man.
Hello.
What are you guys doing here? Oh.
We're recording the podcast
Oh.
right now.
Hi.
Yeah. So welcome back to Hurd Ya Saw. You can tell this is kind of a low energy cast already. I'm joined by Morten.
Hello.
Sean is in the room but is actually working, so
Hello.
he might pop in every so often. So we just watched Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
We did.
Yes.
For our sins.
But yeah, I want to say that when I suggested this in the group chat to the podcast, we had a hard no from a good 60% of the cast. They
Yeah.
were just like, nope, we're not doing it. Not after the first one. We refuse.
I like how this is our line, though. This is our line in the sand.
It's not my line in the
Not
sand.
mine, I have no line that I've discovered yet.
We have no standards over here. But, that was a lot of movie. I'll give it that. It is a lot in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Let-
really trying to make up for the lack of plot in the first one.
Just by spooning it in.
Yeah.
So, to recount, well, I'm going to give you the premise. As you will recall from the first Fantastic Beasts film, Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne, who, I'll say again, I like him as a performer. His performance remains easily one of the best things about this franchise.
That's my line in the sand. I will never say anything positive about Eddie Redmayne.
Not even in Jupiter
Never.
Ascending.
Never will I say anything positive about that rubber-faced thing.
That person man.
Mm.
He is a magic zoologist guy who really likes animals and has a big menagerie that he keeps in a briefcase. He, in the last film, encountered Ezra Miller, who, again, wasted in this film as much as he
Yeah.
was wasted in the last film, because Ezra Miller is very talented.
Yeah, but like seriously wasted in this. And it
Just-
felt like his was actually the plot.
Yeah.
Like in the big mixed bag of subplots, his felt like it was supposed to be the driving plot. And
A
if you
bit-
put
well,
his
kind of.
scenes- yeah, kind of. But if you put his scenes together, probably 15 minutes. at most.
I feel like that's generous.
Yeah, that's probably generous.
I'd
as
say you
well,
got like
to be
10
fair.
minutes in this movie, and a lot of him just being slightly hunched and looking
Yeah.
sad, and you're like, okay, Ezra, I mean, I'm sure you're getting very well paid, and you're buying a lot of rather fantastic outfits, to go along. If you've seen his shoot in GQ,
I have seen what he wore to the premiere.
which was fantastic.
That was glorious.
I'd also
That was-
recommend looking up his shoot with Playboy. But he's a very nice looking young man.
Mm.
I'll give him that.
And his premiere look was like half Michelin Man, half Dementor. So like it was solid.
Oh my god. So, Credence is an obscurial, which is like a weird, aborted wizard, baby ghost thing.
Yeah.
The
Wait a minute. So,
I've forgotten what they are.
okay, this is how. Okay, I'll preface this with I was a big fan of the books. They were a big part of my childhood.
Sure.
And I enjoyed the Harry Potter films.
I'd also say I'm gonna say if you don't want spoilers, don't listen to this, because the problem is there's so many plots
Yeah.
and so many confusing revelations
Yeah.
in
Vaguely. I
question.
mean, you've just revealed something because like I've only watched the first film once when I watched it at the cinema.
I thought that was
I've not
mentioned in
watched
the
it since
first
then.
film.
Yeah, but I've forgotten that because it was 2 years ago, and
Right.
I've done my best to like push it down.
Yeah, that was a bad midnight screening for us.
I wasn't at the midnight one.
Oh, you're
I
not?
watched it alone. I was just looking around everywhere, being like, "Why are people enjoying this? Why can I not scream at anyone right now?"
Well, imagine me just really drunk and angry
Yeah.
at 2 in the morning going, why did we stay up this late to watch this?
Yeah.
But continue.
But you've just revealed to me that the Obscurial was not the blood necklace. That was
No!
That was great. The whole time I was just like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
I just like, so Credence is an Obscurial, whatever that is, and Johnny Depp is Wizard Hitler, Gellert Grindelwald, who escapes from American magic prison somehow through just, there were so many things where I'm just like, can't everybody in this cart teleport?
Yeah, I don't like
There were a lot of situations where I was like, but you could all teleport.
apparate. Let's use the right term.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's signposted fairly immediately. I also vaguely remember the name Abernathy, but I don't know. But yeah, no, it should have been a fun sequence, but it was guilty of what the main problem of this film was. Not only did it not have a main plot and just many subplots, it also had no idea what kind of cinematography it wanted to use at any single point.
I feel like everybody involved in making this film was like, I'm going to do my best in my style. So the effects team, want to say, big can of Coke to the effects team. There are some really nice looking set pieces in this film. I want to say, cinematography, just calm down.
Pick a style.
Calm down.
Right?
Like, why is every shot that Lita Lestrange is in done with handheld and no one else is?
Yeah.
What's with all those weird point of view shots?
In Hogwarts, it was really uncomfortable with the handheld. It was very odd.
It just
Yeah.
this movie was all over the
Hey,
place. Hey man, we're recording the
what's
podcast.
Huh?
We're recording the podcast. You're allowed to be on if you like. Hello. Yeah, so basically, Wizard Hitler wants Ezra Miller for some reason, which is not really made apparent at any point.
No,
Because the
until
first-
I guess the end.
Well, even then, we'll get to the end.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But, like, the whole point of the first film is they're like, oh, Obscurials are dangerous, they need to be put down by the wizard community. And there was a whole thing like, oh, they almost kill Credence really easily. And throughout the film, Johnny Depp's going, he's the only one that can kill Dumbledore. I'm also German.
Yeah, pick an accent, Johnny.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Just, Mads Mikkelsen was right there.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen was right there. They could have cast Mads. I mean, he's busy doing Death Stranding with Hideo Kojima or whatever, but, like,
I mean, they could have cast anyone. They could have brought back Colin. They could have.
yeah, just bring back Colin Farrell. He was really good. So everybody in this movie has a thing that they want to do, and also things they don't want to do. Newt Scamander does not want to break international wizard law and travel to France, except
But he'll do it straight away.
for the Lady Porpentina, who is also in France looking for Credence in a... Why was there all that stuff in that cage that she was in that she'd been, like, drawing on the walls, implying she'd been there for ages? Was that her that drew it, or was that something else?
I think it was her. That happened, didn't it?
Yeah, so she just started keeping notes about nothing that we ever see significantly on the wall with the chalk, but also she's in a cage, but she can apparate? So why didn't she just leave? If she didn't want to be there?
I assume there's some magic-y stuff that prevented her from apparating from that cage.
There was some magic-y stuff that prevented this movie from
There
making
was something
sense.
within the wizarding world of J.K. Rowling that she is writing in post-haste. But,
Yeah. I mean, so they go to Paris, and there's a sequence where some bad animals get out in the city, and Newt has to catch them, which he does. And
Yeah, he actually catches some animals in this film. That
yeah,
was
yeah,
what the title implied.
it was good. There were a couple of fantastic beasts, and his brother Theseus Scamander is marrying Lita Lestrange of the evil Lestrange family, and she's in love with Newt. Maybe this subplot.
Yeah, it was implied that they were together at Hogwarts, that they had more of a history, but he...
You've got a genuinely perplexed look on your face right now.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, so fair play. I'm going to go back on what I said earlier. I guess this is praise.
Yeah.
Eddie Redmayne played him less on the spectrum this time.
I don't think that's necessarily like praise or not praise.
But it's not necessarily praise or not praise, but it's not meant as either praise or not praise as well. But like in the first film, it felt offensive.
I didn't think it was. Like,
Okay.
I felt like the character was written to be somewhat on the spectrum, and oh, that's very good. Morton's just handed me a post-it with a sad Nicholas Flamel on it, and the title reads "Wet Flamel of a Film." It's very good. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I felt like it was nice that they were trying to portray a different kind of principal character. Where,
no, definitely.
Where he grapples with, like, the social interaction stuff, which I was like, that's like a nice take for a massive franchise to have.
Yeah.
But I think he seemed a lot more confident this one. But I'm like, he kind of grew through the first film, kind of.
True.
So
Yeah.
So
But it seemed to be the implication that his socially together brother swept in and
or
took
something.
the girl.
We're not really sure.
No.
It's never really explained.
I'm not sure I really care as well, considering how, like, just out of nowhere the flashbacks to their days at
Oh my
Hogwarts
God.
were, with, like, a fairly just, like, we're not going to say it, but you've just seen a Malfoy. You've just seen a Malfoy.
Look at her, she's right there.
Look at that blonde boy in green robes.
Oh boy. So they had the bit. Let's just play a quick round of name the number of plots in this movie.
Okay.
So we have Credence with Nagini for some reason.
Well, because
Yeah,
I suspect the end reveal is going to be unrevealed and something else is going to be revealed at some point.
I get, sure.
Because, like, fuck timelines.
Yeah, okay. So Credence and Nagini are trying to find Credence's biological mother. Plot 1. Gellert Grindelwald is trying to create some kind of wizard revolution in the wizarding world in Paris.
Yeah.
Plot 2. Newt Scamander has been asked by Dumbledore to stop Grindelwald. Plot 3. Newt Scamander is more interested in finding Porpentina from the previous film and proposing to her or whatever. Plot 4. Porpentina is technically a part, I guess. Porpentina is off finding Credence as an American aura for the American Ministry of Magic. That's plot 5. Dumbledore has a conflicted relationship thing with Grindelwald from his past, which is not really explained properly, but we know what it kind of is from loosely explained in the books.
Guy that imprisons Tina is also looking for Credence.
Yeah, No, not Corvus.
No.
I don't remember his name.
Marius?
Maybe?
I don't know.
Senegalese guy is trying to murder people because of a blood oath that was made by his dad before his dad went crazy. Lita Lestrange not only is in love with Newt, which is one, but also has her other subplot that she in the past was responsible, presumably, for the apparent disappearance of her brother. So that's 9.
No, that was 8.
That's technically 2, but it's just 1 for Lita, I guess. Yeah, so 8 or 9, yeah.
Queenie is trying to find Tina as well.
And Queenie is also trying to has brought back Jacob from the first film after his memory was wiped and wants to have a relationship with him, but they're not able to because of society.
Jacob is also trying to find...
Jacob is then looking for Queenie because she runs away very early on, so that's his main motivation for doing stuff, and he does that independently of anyone else. That is 11.
There's more. There's definitely more.
But that's literally everything you will experience.
Those are the ones that are kind of like long lasting throughout the film.
Yeah, and
then you have the little vignettes of Newt trying to find the lion and mermaid flying thing.
And like what's it? Jessica Jones from The Daily Show is in secret contact with Nicholas Flamel the alchemist through a book for some reason that's never really explained.
I liked the book. It felt like a phone directory for wizards.
It did, but also...
It was FaceTime for wizards in the 1920s.
But here's the thing. Who was she? And why was that? Is she connected to Dumbledore? Is she with the American Ministry? Why is this old guy here? What? So that's 11 plots that run most of the course of the movie. This is a busy film. It's very busy. Oh, and you also have a Ministry assassin guy who apparently knows Newt, who takes Newt's job to hunt credence, but he's
Oh, fuck
actually
yeah.
secretly working for Grindelwald, so that's actually 12. And he's there.
Ministry trying to also control Dumbledore.
Oh, yeah,
as
that's
well.
also another... There's so much
Technically,
plot.
Grindelwald's actual plot of trying to not prevent World War II, but show them that World War II is going to be a thing.
With his skull vape.
Yeah, his skull vape. His skull shisha.
He's like, they'll invent the nuke. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Is this literally the future, or are you...
Yeah, this is we should backtrack for a second. This is a Harry Potter film that involves both the Titanic and Hiroshima.
Yes. No, yes.
I never thought I would say those words in my life.
Oh my god. Yeah. So there's a lot in this movie. Morten, did you enjoy this film?
No.
Okay.
I didn't not enjoy it. I was sat there. To be fair,
Yeah.
I didn't look at my watch until an hour and 15 minutes in.
Right.
I think I then looked at my watch for at least 6 times in the final hour. What I will say is that, yeah, it zipped along for a fair amount of time to begin with. It
Yeah.
felt like, oh, you're introducing lots of different plots. And then it got to about the point where Grindelwald put a black tablecloth over Paris. Which
was
he
like,
then very
he's-
quickly whipped away as
Which
well.
he was like, he's summoning his followers, and we're like,
Yeah.
what?
And that's when I realised, oh, okay, we're not still in the first half an hour. This isn't you're introducing lots of different plots. This is the core problem of these films that
Yeah.
I hate to say, is that, so I've said it a few times before I've seen this one, but kind of heard people's reactions to it. What I find very interesting is that I'm sure this conversation probably has happened behind closed doors, and I'm sure it will happen again after this film has, like, settled down.
Yeah.
Whether anything...
Are you gonna...
Just mute it.
Yes.
Hung up. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm sure this conversation will happen again between this one and the third one. So with The Cursed Child,
Right.
J.K. Rowling has obviously sat down at some point and come to the realisation, I'm not a theatre writer.
Yes,
I
that's...
should sit down in a room with 2 theatre writers, brainstorm an idea for a story that I have in my head, and then let a qualified, good theatre writer
Yeah.
go and write a play.
Yeah.
That for all of its like fan fiction plot problems
Dramaturge the shit out of this so it actually functions.
was
kind of...
was fine. It was
Yeah.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
For some reason, she has not come to the realisation that she's not a screenwriter, and no exec or producer has gone just like, hey,
Hey, Joanne.
do you want to sit down? Because like Jack Thorne, who,
Don't bang the table next to the mic.
Ah! Jack Thorne, who wrote the stage play for Cursed Child, is also a screenwriter.
Yeah.
And a pretty darn good one. So
He'd
why-
probably have some ideas.
Yeah, why haven't you let a screenwriter take these 5 film ideas that you've got swirling around in your head? Because there's going to be 3 more.
Oh my god, there's going to be 3 more of
Like,
these things.
Why?
For a
aren't
movie
you
called
just-
The Crimes of Grindelwald.
He made it fairly clear.
There weren't... But here's the thing. He was
he
all like...
broke out.
He was in prison at the start for... as yet unspecified reasons apart from being a general fascistic-y kind of guy. And then he murders a lot of dead babies in this movie.
Yeah.
Surprising number of
Okay,
dead
I actually
babies.
quite like that scene. Not that makes me sound.
Which one?
That makes me sound.
Which dead
disturbed.
baby scene are you referring to, Morton? Because there were quite a few.
Were there?
There's baby that Grindelwald murders, well, has his lady murdered personally
That
in the
scene,
flat.
I like
okay,
that scene.
yeah.
Because that was kind of... If the cinematographer had found a consistent style, it felt like what they were trying to do was go like, oh, we've got a dark wizard in the room with a baby. This
Yeah.
should be setting off alarm bells in your head that like, oh, this doesn't always go the way they want it to.
Yeah.
And then, oh no, boom, they do just kill the baby quite easily. But
Yeah.
it could have been like a nice kind of visual link to the first Harry Potter film and kind of subvert your, oh shit, no.
Wizards are not always
Clearly
beneficial.
nobody loved that baby, so they couldn't save.
Well, his parents were instantly
Parents were already dead.
introduced
but, yeah.
and murdered in like seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. It's
Other baby killing scenes?
dead baby on the Titanic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
with the
fair
mum
enough.
desperately trying to swim to save her
Yeah,
baby.
true.
And then visions of dead baby in the boggart scene as well.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, this is it's quite heavy. And also made me think, yeah, maybe
Well,
like
it sank quite quickly.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
that is poor. Bad Morton. But like
anyway.
one of the things is I'm just like maybe having a creature that can show children their worst fears, which they then publicly show
I
to their
did kind of
fucking
think about this at the
classmates. I'm
time,
like,
is that it's really easy to bully anyone at Hogwarts, or
Yeah.
like psychologically bully them.
yeah. So the whole twist is that the movie leads you, big spoilers, I guess, from now. Spoiler alarm. It seems to be leading up that Credence is actually Leta Lestrange's previously thought to be dead half brother from the whole messy family thing, which is awkwardly told through flashbacks.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, cool exposition dump. Here's things that explain that, and you're like, okay. However, it turns out it's not. Actually, the big reveal at the end is that he's Dumbledore's brother. Half brother?
Well, yeah, this is the thing. I
Oh, wait, wasn't there a thing in the book that, like, Dumbledore's sister got into, like, maybe, like, a human person, and that's why...
enjoy you.
Well, isn't it, like, that Grindelwald killed her or something? I forget how that bit happened, which...
There was something tragic with his sister, which is touched upon in this film.
Yeah, because his sister died and it was meant to be his fault, so his other brother, Aberforth, always held him responsible.
Yeah,
But
that's
here's
the thing.
the-
I only remember Aberforth. I don't remember there ever being an allusion to Aurelius.
Yeah, but this raises the point that, like, I get that, like, Potter movies can sort of expect you to, like, have a loose understanding of the world,
Yeah.
but at the same time it's kind of lazy storytelling to be like, let's allude to kind of what happened in Dumbledore's background, which apparently is central to both the main mystery of the story and also the relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald that you're trying to establish.
Yeah.
I mean, could we not have had an awkward flashback with them rather
Yeah.
than an awkward flashback with, like, look, here's what it was like when Leta and Newt were in Hogwarts?
Yeah. It
For
just,
a romantic subplot that doesn't go anywhere?
it feels like it's falling into just like really bad prequel territory, where, like you say, you're kind of being vaguely half distracted with some shiny tinfoil new characters.
Yeah.
But then you're also supposed to be like, oh my god, there's a character with the same name of like another character. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, tell me an interesting story. If it's related to another story, then fine, that's fine. But it needs to be interesting in and of itself to begin with.
Yeah.
Which this just isn't at the moment. I also kind of don't really believe that reveal as well.
Who was the Asian guy who was like, hey, why do we need Credence? Grindelwald. Oh, he's the only person that can kill Dumbledore. Will you be there when we do that?
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, an hour later, he dies in a fire.
Yeah.
And you're like, who was that? What? Why?
He felt vaguely Snapey, but not.
I don't know what his deal was.
No, I don't know. It's, yeah.
There's just such
I
a
guess we're
lot.
supposed to believe it because there's a phoenix, which might be Fawkes, but
Yeah,
like,
but also, like,
who gives a Fawkes?
yeah, but also, like, a small thing that just made me go, what? Is that Credence was raised non-magical,
Yeah.
and yet he can, like, fucking blow up half a mountain with the first
Well,
one he's given.
Yeah, isn't that the thing that like his magic's fairly uncontrolled? So now he's been given a wand, and it's like, but yeah, no, that's
Equally,
yeah.
I'm like, I mean, it's a cool, like, coolish set piece to finish on, but also I'm like, maybe just have him be like, you could have had a fun, sexy, like, Grindelwald be like, this is how you point the wand. Now you go, kabloom.
Yeah, the tension between those two has disappeared completely. That was like there when it was Colin Farrell
Yeah,
and Ezra Miller.
Man.
Which again was one of the strengths of the first film.
Yeah, 'cause it
just
was
like, oh, you're taking this into different directions that, like, you wouldn't get in other family films
It
at the
felt
moment. It's
much cleverer psychological abuse in the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Whereas this one, so okay, Queenie, who is a character I did not like in the first movie, Queenie being radicalized to join a fascist movement because she wants to marry her boyfriend, who is considered literally a non-person by the fascist movement that she joins.
Mm.
Now,
Yeah.
call me crazy, that doesn't seem like the most sound of motivations. When Grindelwald's all like, I don't hate.
But he said love a few times. So
He did
it's
say love a
fine.
few times, but he then also, like, one, set an awful lot of people on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the main crime of Grindelwald, hypocrisy.
Yeah.
He's like, don't do anything, because, like, technically, they
We're-
know
yeah.
it's not illegal to listen to me.
Yes.
And
Which
we
could have
won't
been a good,
kill.
which could have been a good point.
Yeah.
This is the thing, is I'm like, this movie wanted to, I feel like at some point, JK, or whichever person put hands on some of the bits of the rise of fascism bits, had some ideas.
Yeah.
That are like, it's the point about fascism as an insidious ideology, is that you have the whole question of like, oh, free speech and all that, they should be able to say things, but also if you give fascism a platform, it thrives and is corrosive and actively damages things around it to twist it to its own ideals. They could have done something clever that the greatest magic of Grindelwald was just using his words.
Yeah.
Instead, he set everybody on fire.
Which
is less-
goes back on what was the strength of his character was in the first one, like we said, the kind of psychological manipulating
Yeah.
of Ezra Miller's character.
Yeah.
And like if that had been as cleverly executed with Queenie, then you could forgive it for not being there with the Ezra Miller character this time, because the psychological manipulation he now has over him is that he's got somebody in Queenie who can read Ezra Miller's thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's just like, but you didn't quite link those bits together. So it's like, by all means, you can read that into it. But I'm giving it more credit than it's worth.
This is the thing. I mean, and also again with Queenie's ability to passively read the minds of everybody around her, when the guy who's a fascist who presumably wants to wipe out a significant amount of humans is like, I don't hate humans. And she'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, he's actually thinking that he does.
Yeah.
Maybe the person who knows when people are like lying or misleading might not be so easily duped into this, or you could have a better reason for her not to do it.
Yeah, and again, this is the kind of thing like...
Or maybe Grindelwald believes it, or at least establish that he does believe that this is the best course of action or something. And it's like, but again, we're having to give the movie credit where it didn't do that legwork.
The thing that like prevents me from doing that legwork for it as well is that there are some scenes where her acting style feels very similar to Jacob's acting style when he has been enchanted by her in the first few scenes that he comes back into, and it's just like, oh, has someone enchanted her?
Maybe.
But like,
Maybe. But equally, like, her enchanting Jacob, that was, I guess that was a good way to show that, one, she's really got issues around, like, consent and stuff. And again, she can read minds. It's like, how can you read minds and still be satisfied with literally bamboozling someone into wanting to marry you?
Yeah.
Like, it just, that character still feels very not thought out in the ways that they want her to be.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, it was... Oh, I don't know. I think what we've got to is that, like, there were a lot of building blocks that were in there that they could have built a solid film from.
Yes.
But they tried to put far too much into it. And as a result, like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's, like, a 3 or even 4 hour cut of this somewhere that, like, is a bit more cohesive and probably could have been 2 films, just with a very odd act structure.
Yeah.
But it's just, it feels like they've picked out the wrong bits to focus on, and it's leaving you not in a satisfying way to read more into it, but to piece it together yourselves. Even, in a really lazy
I don't
way.
feel that I've been told enough to feel satisfied by what I just saw.
But yeah, I never want to be told everything in a film. I want to be able to put some of my own interpretation into it. But this, it's like I say, it's not that. It's that they've literally just kind of emptied out the Lego bricks onto the carpet of your living room, and they've gone, there it is for you. Build Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
let's try and put a little bit of positivity in, I suppose. Jude Law did all right. I'm not sure how much I believe the interview that he said where he's like, oh, I definitely feel like Dumbledore's queerness comes through. I'm like, might be trying to placate angry people.
They're more than brothers.
Yes, more than brothers.
They're more than brothers, and they held hands.
They did hold hands, and it was a very clinchy hand, but I'm like, you could have... It's known that Dumbledore's a gay character.
Yeah.
Like, or maybe, like, have... This is the other problem, is that, like, in the books... In the way that it's alluded to, is that they had this very intense relationship when they were younger, and then Dumbledore had to confront Grindelwald, and that's why Dumbledore is known as being great, because he stopped Wizard Hitler. It's kind of a little frustrating to watch a film where Dumbledore, for literal plot contrivancy thing, of just like, oh, I actually made a magical blood pact when we were young that means I can't do anything because no fucking reason, I don't know. I can't be in this movie and actually, like, instantly solve a ton of situations. And I'm like, well, that just means I'm like, well, why is Dumbledore fucking...
Yeah, why is he... Like, he...
Why can't he just say to the Ministry, no, I signed a blood pact with him when we were young, so I literally can't.
That was the thing that annoyed me about this film so much, was that there were so many instances where, like, characters didn't need to... They weren't distrusting of each other, but they still felt that they couldn't just tell them really simple information quite quickly that would get them all on the same page.
Yeah.
Like the Dumbledore thing, there was a moment between Newt and Tina that I can't quite recall at the moment, but it was just like, why can't you just tell her now? Like, it's the thing with the box, I think. It was just like, oh...
How does he know about the box?
If the box is there, why is it taking them until, like, the artificial climax of the film to just be like, oh shit, we've got this in a filofax somewhere. Let me just check. No, you're not related to them.
Yeah.
Go away.
Or even then, the whole thing of just like the way that the box was introduced was they go, oh, Credence is trying to figure out who his parents is.
It felt very much.
Let's go to this box that I know.
Let's really earnestly try and recreate the prophecy sequence from Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
With moving shelves and
demon cats.
Demon cats.
I like the demon cats. They were quite fun.
The demon cats were quite amusing.
They
but
were.
It was just like, yeah, let's just try and recreate that sequence without any of the flair of that original sequence.
And like, it just... They're trying to have their mystery cake, but they haven't got any cake. That's the mystery. Like, it just doesn't work. Hi, Shay.
Hello. Sorry, I just...
We watched...
How was Fantastic Beasts?
It's like every single member of the podcast family has decided to not watch this film, but come in and just be like, hey guys, we just want to be like, we spent the last 2.5 hours in a more constructive way than you did.
We've got like half an hour's worth of podcast of us mostly being, what?
No.
It
Wait, is it... EJ said it was better than the first.
It's...
I don't have enough of a memory of the first to even... It's less annoying than the first. Because, like... It's vaguely globe-trotting, which is what I wanted from the first, rather than just New York.
New York? I'd say that...
and... is it Dan... Jacob, his character, is less... I'm a Broadway star getting my first...
Big break.
Is that the brother character?
No, the
Muggle.
guy, the Muggle guy.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say.
Queenie's in it last.
What I would say is that the first movie had different problems. This movie has other problems. Both problems are bad. I think that this movie felt like more of an earnest attempt to do something. The first one just felt like, oh shit, we forgot to have a plot. Whereas this one, like you said, Morten said earlier in the cast, the first one didn't have enough plot. This one has too much. We counted 13 distinct major plot lines that run through this film. 13.
That's
all of which are basically given equal time.
Setup
Yeah.
to feature other films there. Because the
No,
previous
See,
film-
no. It was all just like so much of it has been resolved.
Yeah, Dave.
Oh, mate, I'm so busy right now. I can't hang around. I'll catch you guys in a second. You
Cool.
guys gonna stay here?
Yeah, we're recording right now, so it's all cool.
Oh shit! Sorry.
It's okay.
Catch you in a bit.
So the thing that I would say actually to distinguish these two films, the
Yeah.
first one is a film that no one wanted to make, but they felt that they had to make it to get the franchise title and to introduce you slowly into the world of we're going to tell you the story of Grindelwald. This is the first film in the series that they actually wanted to make, but because they got so many starting points from the first film that they did actually make, they're now like, oh fuck, we can't
gotta-
make that film. We need to try and tie some of this in.
How do we get Jacob back in after
Yeah.
we took him out of the first... Shit. Don't ever explain it. It's never fucking explained.
No. It's explained in its
the
entirety.
worst way.
That it's just like, oh no, obliviates only work on bad memories.
Well,
and
that's
like,
not how that works.
I really liked you guys. I had a really good time, so I can remember you.
That's...
Well, I'm so glad I didn't watch it.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna go watch a film with queer characters in it, in the text of the film.
Oh,
So have a lovely rest of the podcast.
bye.
Bye.
Shay. Abandoned. So, okay. Let's just go to final thoughts, shall we? Because I think we've given this a good run. And, like, this is a pretty strange podcast, given the number of people being like, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, boy.
It's like the film. We've had 13 subplots in the podcast.
What's Adib doing? What's he so busy with?
The thing that hurts me is that I feel that's my best joke of the podcast, and by 36 minutes in, everyone stopped listening.
Yeah, so, Morten, your final thoughts on Fantastic Blurst's Crimes of Grindel Cows? Johnny Depp.
I will have forgotten it by tomorrow.
I...
And I genuinely don't mean that harshly. It's just another one of those ones. I think my conclusion on the first one was that wasn't a film.
Yeah.
And
This
kind of-
one's like, this wasn't a film either. This was like a Netflix series that was put into fast forward and
Yeah.
binge. This felt like Avengers Infinity War.
It did.
Except without the backdrop of like 13 fucking movies to explain who the fuck everyone is.
Yeah.
They Avengers it. That's what this is. This is
Well, they
Infinity War.
DC'd it in that
This is-
case, but
It feels like except it's like if Justice League tried to be complex. It's
Yeah.
like if Justice League tried to be Infinity War, but was DC and didn't have any backdrop.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It had no discernible starting point, and it had a starting point that followed on very obviously from the previous film, but I don't feel like that's a climax. That is a midpoint. That is a see you next time.
Yeah.
Which
Fine.
is what, like you say,
Yeah, it's like
Infinity War was
that's
as well.
what Infinity War. It felt like you're watching all the different plot lines just
Yeah.
all over the place. God damn it! So basically, what we're arriving at the final thoughts is like I feel like Warner Brothers just needs to make a really high budget Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
That'd be a better call because
Hit
then
up
you,
Amazon,
yeah.
get a decent budget.
Oh, they've got all the money. They're doing
Like,
Good Omens, and that
yeah.
looks good. You know,
Yeah.
American Gods looked nice.
Go back, like stop development on the third film. Go back, give us a Grindelwald and Dumbledore origin story series
Yeah.
that you don't need to be afraid of mildly homophobic parents not taking their children to.
Yeah.
But their children can just put it on because
Yeah.
they've got past the parental locks on their computer.
Yeah, well, they just have Prime.
Yeah.
Put it on Amazon Prime.
Everyone can enjoy that and then be kind of clued in to the extent that they should be when they go into
Yeah,
a film,
when-
and will enjoy the third one.
Yeah, if you were to do that, if you were to make a short series about the rise of Dumbledore and Grindelwald, take it from the view of, oh, we're watching the genesis of Wizard Hitler. You can be a bit darker. You can and a bit realer because the parallels and the cheek of this movie, kind of directly referencing World War II,
Yeah.
gave me very misgiving feelings because I'm like, it always gets very strange when you try and bring in real world, actual big historical events as a backdrop to your magical cow movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't feature the stuff that you are allegorizing in your allegory.
Yeah, because that just makes me go, so wait, so this means the wizards, whatever happens now,
Yeah.
the wizards are just going to let the Holocaust happen.
Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the thing. Maybe in Harry Potter, World War II never happened.
Oh! Yeah, I don't know if I've done a final thought, but I think that'll do. And I look forward to when this third film in this series comes out, Morton. It'll just be you and me again.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah maybe.